you know, we want to save ourselves, you know. I don't want to get hurt today. I have nightmares about it, to be honest. So
no,
I wouldn't even call this technology, but they were using this in the 50s and the 40s.
You have the same name as my husband.
There we go. Easy to remember. Okay. Hopefully you like Chris then too.
Oh, you're fine.
Gotcha. Thank you. Don't you just like picking up random tools sometimes and just playing with them? Ecoline guys always do everything safe, no accidents.
For now.
For now.
Yeah. Not a great window install.
This is a bad guy who put this window in. Don't forget that stuff there.
Oh, that's a big one actually. Man, Stampede's over.
Look at that. See how dramatic that is?
That was dramatic.
That's what TV's all about.
It looks like someone stabbed this window to death.
No, we're not worried about that. You know, we're worried about what's going on inside. I'm talking about my stabbing, okay?
I don't know, sitting around resting is a little bit against my character, but I'll do it just this once.
I'm pretty good at it.
Take 5. Go.
Hey everybody, my name is Ian. I'm the owner of Timbre Home Inspection. Today we're here in the community of Tuscany. We're going to be doing a full frame window replacement inspection here for Ecoline Windows.
Hey everyone, Chris here with the Calgary Home Inspector Corp, and I will also be doing this Ecoline home inspection today. Let's go check out what's happening here.
How's it going, Chris?
Good.
Didn't know I'd be seeing you here today.
My arch enemy Ian here, just kidding. Happy to be tag teaming this home inspection. We're both gonna have an awesome look at what they're doing here. And we can see they're well underway up on the roof, taking out this first window.
So we're about to head inside, but before we head inside, we're going to do a little contest. We're going to see who gets the closest to the age of the house, just by judging what neighborhood we're in and looking at the street, the age of the trees, you know, the finishings on the house. I'm going to say this house was built in the year 2000. And I think we're going to be doing with some vinyl frame windows, some really shitty vinyl frame windows, hence why they're coming out. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I think we're right on pace there. Definitely a millennium house. I'm going to take 2003.
2003.
So
nice.
We're going to see what happens.
Okay, we're going to see. We're going to see. Maybe there'll be some Flames memorabilia from the Cup run. That could be a bit of a tale there. So we'll head inside later on. We'll check the actual date. I got some good ways of checking the dates of houses, so it's one of my things.
No, they stole my shot at redemption already. We just got here, just started on the site, and they've already taken that out. We're gonna have to come back again so I can have another shot at redeeming myself.
But you can put in the new one.
I will. I got a 7-minute record to try and beat.
We're also going to be installing a new patio door today. This one is a self-assembled door. Not something you just go run and pick up at IKEA and slap it together with some balsa wood and little pin nails. This is still a professionally assembled door. If you're handy enough, then it's something that you might be able to take care of. Otherwise, you really want the Ecoline guys to install this type of thing. It's expensive door. It needs to work properly. It needs to be facing the right way. You don't want to be, locking it from the outside. That wouldn't be good. Wouldn't really be good for security purposes. So,
yeah, a burglar's dream, really.
yeah, that'd be pretty lovely. So we'll be watching these guys put it in. I might try to help, but we know how that goes. So, and we know how Chris is doing with these doors. So we might just watch and observe and have a conversation about patio doors.
You know what? We might just inspect today. Just watch, inspect.
It's been a long weekend, like a long week.
Specialty.
It's Friday. We're going into like a long weekend. We want to save ourselves. I don't want to get hurt today. I don't want to risk anything. So I'm ready to just kind of observe, and we're going to just have a lot of conversations about what we know about windows and doors, and inspections and just life in general. We're going to learn a lot of things about each other today, and we're going to have some good conversations. I think that's why we're here.
So this is the first window we just popped up out from the upper level there, and you can kind of see this is a nail fin, so they've just cut that fin off completely. There's a good chunk of it at the bottom there. So that is what is on the perimeter of this window, and in this case is still up at the front window behind the trim there. So that'll get left in the wall as part of our retrofit with the new brick mold windows coming in. You can see just some pieces of this are starting to deteriorate. As we suspect, these windows are going to be, you know, in the 20 to 25-year-old range. So probably got some seals starting to fail. The perimeter of this window probably needs to be retreated and looked at how we can air seal that back up, make sure that we're not getting any water penetration in the building, and yeah, just up the quality and value of these penetrations on the home.
Yeah, I agree with what Chris is saying. You know, these older style vinyl windows, very entry level, builder grade type windows, not very efficient at all, and you know, dated. They have this kind of gold. What do you call these, Chris? We call these muntins or styles, or what are we calling them?
Grills for me.
Grills. I like that. Gold grills. You know, these belong in someone's mouth, not inside the window. So we're gonna, you know, not only update the look, the aesthetics, but also get that enhanced efficiency. You can see, just having a look at the sash that came out, how thin it is. There's, you know, barely any gap in between the two panes of glass. Now we're going to be going up to triple pane today. A lot thicker frame, a lot more heavy duty. And then you can see, where's where we got drain holes. You can see at the top here, the drain holes on the window itself.
We're upside down right now.
They're tiny. Like you know, you could fit a nickel through there, and that's about it. That's not going to do very much if there is water getting into the window. You need it to drain out.
This is a large window as well to only have these two little weep holes at the top,
yeah,
at the bottom.
Yeah, those aren't very effective, and they do get clogged with silt and sediment over time. So there could be a lot of issues as to why this homeowner is replacing these windows kind of sooner than you'd expect. So we'll go inside and we'll take a closer look as to what's going on with the actual opening and kind of the insulation that was using, because around this period when this house was built, they might have been starting to switch to more spray foam as opposed to the bad insulation that we discussed, and how we have learned to hate it.
Yes.
And how ineffective it is. I have nightmares about it, to be honest. So go ahead inside, right, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris, we found it again. Mm-hmm. We got some old, fat, thin, ineffective insulation. Look at just coming out of there.
Ineffective.
Yeah, it just compresses right into this opening, and it just becomes essentially useless. You might block a little bit of wind or something like that, but you're not getting any efficiency out of that. You're getting a lot of leaks, right?
Yeah, as soon as you compress bad insulation, you're losing R values. When we're stuffing it in these little cavities, it doesn't have the same value as it holds in a wall when you're getting that like full thickness.
Yeah. So, you know, I think we've determined that the age of this house is 2001. So, you know, only 23 years ago. And, you know, this is a relatively new house. They're still using this. I wouldn't even call this technology, but they were using this in the 50s and the 40s. So nothing changed for a long time. Now we're going to be using the low density spray foam, and we're going to be able to 100% seal all the gaps, and you're not going to get any air leakage at all. So just that alone is an upgrade for sure.
Yep, absolutely. Another detail on this one that we haven't looked at before, but we have a continuous back dam here that's supporting this window. So my concern whenever we see a continuous back dam is that any moisture or water penetration that gets in behind the window runs down the jamb, it's going to sit on this sill. It's not sloped back, it doesn't have a point of exit to get back out of the building. So yeah, not my favorite. I like to see this come out, and we will instead pop some shims in, allow some spacing there, and then as Ian mentioned here, low expansion spray foam, whole perimeter, so that we have a quality air seal around these windows.
To be honest, Chris, I'd never heard of a continuous back dam before in my life. So the fact you're pointing that out is pretty impressive. Shows you know a lot about these windows. So
I appreciate it.
Feels like I've met my match today.
We're both going to be better home inspectors.
We're going to be better people, better inspectors.
Better people.
Yeah.
we're gonna be better for Ecoline after this joint adventure.
For sure, and better for the customers. I mean, it's all about the customers. So that's
absolutely.
It's just gonna be a great day.
I have some doubts about the better people actually knowing you.
What do you mean?
Okay, that's probably fair.
You have the same name as my husband.
There we go. Easy to remember. Okay. Hopefully you like Chris then too.
It'll be fine.
So we're here with Margot, and we're just gonna discuss a few things with her. The main one, obviously, being why are you going with a new windows and doors today?
Because, well, as you can see, there's mold there and it's leaking.
Yeah.
Some of it, and well, frankly, the government program came up, so it was fine. I think they could have lasted maybe another 5 years, but I figured I might as well go ahead.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Yeah. Part of kind of a more updating of the house, refreshing all the openings for sure. Yes. No. For sure. I see it. I see it all. So the one thing we noticed is that the actual insulation around the windows itself is very minimal.
I noticed
and
that too.
inadequate. Yeah. So you might notice that these rooms were a little bit colder, especially on the second floor, and especially with the larger, like a patio door like this, it's a fairly large opening for sure.
Literally a draft.
Yeah, you can feel the actual air coming through.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
If we find anything cool and exciting, we're definitely going to show you.
All right.
It's really neat when they actually start putting the new windows in. You can see how fast and efficient these guys work, and how everything goes in nice and slick.
Careful.
Yeah.
Really careful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they-
definitely take good care of every home they go into.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So we were just having a chat with the homeowner, and she noted that there had been some mold buildup in the bottom corner on the inside of this patio door. And the Ecoline crew has already cracked off the vinyl frame that was over top of this window. So now we have an opportunity to see what is in behind that and what's actually like inside the window frame right now. So you see it's a bunch of gunk. Looks like potentially, a little bit of mold buildup in this bottom corner. So definitely good that we're looking at replacing this. And you just see the whole bottom here, like what kind of poor condition this patio glazing is in. So yeah, definitely look forward to getting that replaced. I don't even know what this caulking's doing down here.
Okay, well, you're just inspecting one of our window openings here. Just poking around, looking for any signs of some serious rot. As Chris mentioned, we have our back dam here, so we're gonna remove this, and then we'll install our new window in place. We have some cladding, some metal cladding that will stay in place, and our brick mold will rest right against the edges, and it's gonna be a full frame window that we're installing, and everything's gonna fit in nice, and then we're gonna be able to seal up the outside, air to the inside. So once we get this off, we can put down our flashing and then shim it into place and then fasten it. We're good to go. One of the reasons why the Ecoline is having to cut through the actual frame or the nailing fin, when these windows were installed, it was through new construction. It was a nail fin window, so they actually nailed the window along the edge to the actual outside of the house, and then they put their flashings over top of that. If we were to fully remove this kind of flange, we'd have to remove our cladding, actually cut into the building envelope, and then pull it off. It's redundant, and it's going to cause more opportunities for water egress. So the best way to do it is to just cut around the edge and clean up the opening, and then that way we're not going to risk damaging the envelope. Other companies might start pulling off all the cladding and pulling out the window from the actual outside without having to cut it. But that's only going to add more labor, more cost, and it's not going to make any difference in terms of the energy efficiency. So these guys are smart. They're just going to be able to cut it out and put our new window in place. This will get left there. Will be get covered up. You won't notice it was there.
So I just missed it. I saw Ian was talking to you about this specific window, but did he talk to you about the nailing fin being left in the window frame here?
Yes, we did.
Oh. And did he talk to you about these aluminum trims on the outside?
Yes, we did.
What about the cladding?
Just jump out, man.
Oh, okay.
Don't you just like picking up random tools sometimes and just playing with them?
I mean, if you're a man, you do, yes.
Chris is a man. I'm a man. He's a man.
We'll test it.
You want it?
Test
There you
it
go.
on the crew here.
Take it away.
3-man crew here.
I love watching this. We got a guy on a second story ladder. We got two guys helping out. This is always a stressful part for me to watch. We got to make sure everyone's safe. These Ecoline guys always do everything safe. No accidents.
For now.
For now.
There you go. That's what the nail fin looks like when we don't cut through it. Did you guys talk about this drip cap already?
Nope.
Okay. This is my moment to shine then. So on a full frame replacement, we want to make sure that we're leaving this old existing drip cap in. We want to get this new window tucked up under this so that this drip cap still effectively drains water away from the top of this window. If we got to replace this, we're looking at taking off cladding and ripping that off and putting a new one. So if we can still use that one that's already embedded into the building envelope, that's perfect. Just like the window right across from us, you can see that drip cap fully across the window, extending a little bit beyond the edges. That's what we're looking to get here with this new Ecoline window install.
First off, we got a little dust on Chris here. Let's make him nice and pretty.
We've been adding to our window collection here. So this is the nailing fin flange that we saw them take out. And the important thing when you're installing a nailing fin is not to put the nails in the nail holes. So we see them at the top here, up over in the corner here. Ian will demonstrate now.
It's like the installer just covered his eyes and just took his nail gun and went along the edge of the window and just seeing where he hits, like he's playing some sort of sick game.
So this is the patio glass that we took out. And the interesting thing here that we saw in this case happen sometimes is the break pattern. So this is a tempered glass. So rather than this glass shattering and you having big shards, it breaks into these little pieces. This is really common on forced entry resistant locations. So your front door, rear patio, sliding door. So this will break differently than if we broke one of these windows, which we will not do, but it's just interesting little detail to have a look at.
That's it. That one at a time. Make sure you don't miss any.
Some of us really care about our Ecoline customers.
Some over here too, pal. Don't forget that stuff there.
Oh, that's a big one actually.
That looks good. Good job.
Man, Stampede's over. This isn't a horse. We don't ride window frames like a saddle.
Sorry about that, Chris. He's right. You know, we gotta respect people's property. Go ahead.
Just tell us about the 3M membrane, please.
I love talking about the 3M membrane. To be honest, it's actually one of my favorite parts. What we got here is 3M membrane flashing. That's what I call it. What do you call it?
Yeah, 3M flashing tape, membrane tape.
Tape. I like that. That looks good.
Yeah, sticky tack to it. It's a tape.
It's sticky stuff.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to get it caught in the wrong area. It would not be easy to get off, trust me. So we want to go all the way along the sill, up the jamb, and make sure that everything's sealed up nicely. I'll let you do the honors of checking the slope of the sill if you want to. That's a big thing for an inspector to give another inspector a level. It's like a passing of the torch. Of the torch. Yeah.
It's a high level of trust given the level.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's an expensive level. I had to order that in from Germany.
I am very honored to use your German level on this window.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me here, man.
You know what? This is how we make friends. You know, it's a peace offering.
So Ian already mentioned how skinny these existing window frames are. This is what they've used to fill in the window frame in behind the window. The nice thing we'll see when we get to the Ecoline windows is that the vinyl will completely fill that frame. We're not backfilling it with wood that's gonna add no thermal value, have no protection, gonna be susceptible to water damage. So nice to get this out of here. You got anything over there?
Everything looks pretty good over here, Chris. Nice and solid, no signs of water damage.
You're just stabbing the windows?
I love stabbing windows. This is the best way of finding out if we got rot. What do you do?
I just look with my eyes. Poke my finger in some holes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to be a little bit more careful. You got a left-handed knife?
Different styles, different pokes.
You got a left-handed knife?
I only have right-handed knives.
See, this is where we're different.
Look at that. Some rot right there. You find that with just your finger. No need to stab that. But
It's way more dramatic when you take a knife and you can stick it in Look at that. See how dramatic that is?
That was dramatic.
That's what TV's all about. Okay?
He's a star.
Mine won't fit. It's too big.
Yeah, he does have a big knife. Look at that finger, you can get right in there.
I'll help them. Don't worry about it, Chris. You stand there. That's it, guys. That's it. Good job.
That's it, guys. There we go. Excellent coaching by Ian.
I'm locked out of here. I'm stuck on the roof now.
Just jump over.
Just gonna Spider-Man your way through the other opening.
Maybe I'll try. What's going on in there? I'm missing out? Anything fun?
So you see right now, we're just getting this window in place. It's a little sketchy. Right now they're putting shims in, so that's gonna sit the window frame up from the wood frame of the opening. It's gonna be different than the continuous back dam that we looked at. That's what's gonna allow for insulation to get in all the way to the outside of the window and fully cover that frame. We're not gonna be obstructed by having a continuous piece of wood across the entire base here. So just right now, adding our shims at all the mutton joints here and making sure that those are all properly supported. And then, yeah, this gentleman will get this up in place. We'll screw this and be good to go. So they just popped out our back dam here. You can see just by the color difference where that was sitting. And right here, we can see evidence of water staining. And you can see that that's stopped right at this line. So this back dam, this little piece of OSB, is stopping moisture and water from escaping out of the building envelope here.
I mean, I gotta agree with Chris here. Again, right on point. Really well said. And again, he loves these back dams. You know, I think it's like one of his favorite things.
Love back dams. It looks like someone stabbed this window to death.
You know, we're not worried about that. You know, we're worried about what's going on inside. I'm talking about my stabbing, okay? What kind of shims are those, Chris?
These happen to be wood.
What kind of wood?
I don't know the kind of wood. Do you?
I think they're Western red cedar treated. Only the best with Ecoline.
Our man's a wood expert.
I love wood.
He loves wood like I love back dams.
Well, we're talking about windows. We're here to talk about windows. Chris, what would you say is your favorite window style that Ecoline offers?
I personally like the slider. So we got casements going in behind us. Also a great option, but yeah, for me, slider. Just easy, couple latches, open, close. It's got that mechanism to release the window, so you know, easy cleaning. I love Ecoline slider style window.
Slider. Yeah, I'm a big sliding guy myself as well. Now, I'm gonna kind of throw you off a little bit here, but you know, I like these casement windows. You know, with a guy with small kids, they're a little bit more secure in terms of not only does the kid have to be able to learn how to crank the window open, they have to learn how to unlatch it a little bit harder. So I think it's good for security purposes, especially on the second floor. So I think I'm a casement guy, but I can go with sliding. I can do a single hung. You know, whatever we're gonna be, as long as it's got Ecoline on it, I'm down.
As long as it's got Ecoline on it, we're both good.
All windows, different windows have different types of advantages depending on where they're being installed.
Exactly. I was just gonna say, like, especially upper floor here, a big, large window. You really don't want a slider here. Like that's a big chunk of glass that you're maneuvering all the time. So on this spot,
yeah,
up here, second level, agreed. Casement's definitely the way to go.
I think Chris might be the kind of guy that might install a casement window up on this second level here. I think that's a good spot. Chris, you probably agree with putting a casement window above the foyer there, hey?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Get my stretch arm out to crank that. So
get on the ladder, open up the window, get a nice breeze.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we don't just invent problems. We invent solutions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got everything.
Likes his knives, his moisture meter. He's really reliant on his tools.
And the whole thing in front.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a ticking time bomb, wasn't it?
Yeah. one little huge belt size.
Yeah. You didn't get hail in August.
No, we did not.
You're lucky.
There you go.
I gotta put on my safety glasses, my safety sunglasses. How do I look, Chris?
Looks good. I'm sure those have a really high ballistics rating to
Yeah, for
protect your
sure.
eyes. So
We're gonna cut right here, right through the middle. Ah, there's the culprit. That's some serious steel there. Look at that. Can you believe I cut all the way through that with my bare hands?
wow, that is very impressive.
Touch it, it's hot.
Almost as impressive as how fast he ripped through that frame that's twice as thick.
He does this every day.
What's that?
We still got the instructions, original instructions. Look at that. See that? We could reinstall this thing if we needed to.
Maybe not after you cut through it.
Ah, we're trying to save money around here, aren't we?
So this right here is exactly why we're opting for full frame replacements. If you're not taking the window frame out, you're not exposing stuff like this. You're not seeing that there may be underlying issues where water ingress has occurred and we're having potential damage.
And if Chris had a knife, he'd be able to poke and see that the rot is actually fairly limited to just the surface. And there's definitely some deterioration there, but it's more of a surface stain. So not super serious issue. Should be able to clean it up fairly easily and then get our new door ready to go in. If it's not from actual outside precipitation. So that's pretty much going to be fully eliminated with the new door.
The nice thing about Ecoline is that they actually offer triple pane patio slider doors. So a lot of their competitors will just sell you on dual pane and tell you that that's enough. But Ecoline goes that extra step, covers triple pane, and when they get in here, they slide easily. That's why some competitors will avoid it because it gets too heavy. There's that extra pane of glass, but no, Ecoline's kind of worked through that, and yeah, effortless triple pane patio sliders with Ecoline.
Okay, we're just getting ready to put our patio door together. Again, if you're handy enough, you got a few friends, a few beers, I think it can be put together in a couple hours or so. These guys are gonna put it together in a few minutes, but that's because they do it every day.
And they don't have the beers,
yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah, if they had the beers, they'd probably work faster, to be honest. But so we're just gonna look at the actual door itself and why we like these Ecoline. First off, it's all PVC. A lot of patio doors, a lot of exterior doors have a lot of wood in them still. Just more opportunity for rot, not as thermally efficient. There's different chambers where you can see that are put together here, and that's all to add thermal resistance. What else do you see here, Chris?
That's kind of the big ones, yeah, and it's not just on the base threshold. Like we see those same chambers that Ian's talking about right here where that central fixed piece of patio glass will be. So again, this is going to add to the thermal resistance of the entire patio. And once we insulate around the perimeter as well, this is going to have a great thermal performance and definitely be a fantastic upgrade for this home.
Yeah, the one thing also, the actual threshold itself is covered in a really heavy duty metal covering, really resistant to scratching. So it's not going to get beat up. It's going to look nice for a long time, easy to clean. Can't wait for this door to get in.
All right, we're on to the last step here before casings go on, and that is our low expansion spray foam. So we're installing that all around the entire perimeter of the window. This is going to be what completes our air seal. Make sure we have good air tightness at the surface of this window and ensures that we have thermal performance, not just at the glazing where we have triple pane, but also at the entire perimeter between the window and the frame. Ian, got anything to add?
Yeah, I think it's just more having a good installer as well, making sure that that spray foam is all the way around and closer to the front of the window, one coat, and then again hit it so that you get it all the way to the wall. Otherwise, you can leave gaps if you're not doing it proper, and then that kind of defeats the purpose of what we're doing. So he's getting in at the first, getting it all the way to the front, and then he'll go in again and then fully seal it. So there's also a technique to it. So he's got to be doing it properly. And then once it's sealed up, then they're good to put the casings back on. Okay, so we're all but wrapped up here. We have a few more windows to install. We're gonna finish up with the patio door a little bit later on. But I think me and Chris We've done it all. We've seen it all. We've had some good conversations about, windows and doors and what we like, what we don't like. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got some good coverage today, looking at windows, looking at some patio doors, talking different window types, installation style, inspection techniques, stabbing and poking. Yeah, it's been good. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me crash your inspection.
You know what? Anytime. I think I made a friend today, which is good. We weren't sure how you pulled in here like an animal. I didn't know what we were going to get. So I'm happy that, Chris is a good dude. He's a great inspector. I think we both can agree that, Ecoline is a very well-run company. I would trust them to install windows and doors in my house, no problem, no questions asked. Everything that we see, we've been doing a few of these videos separately. Every time I'm out here, I'm very impressed with what I see. These guys are very professional. They clean everything up. Homeowners are always happy. And, they're just a really good company, good quality company. So I'm happy to be out here.
Yeah, absolutely. Second that. Definitely recommend Ecoline Windows and Doors. And as we discussed, the full frame replacement. Get right down to the existing frame, check everything out, and utilize their professional services for that.
Yep, so that's going to wrap everything up for today, and we'll catch you guys on at the next one.